Fakes! Cheats! Liars!
It's all in the same family.
President Lincoln, Fort Theater, Washington, Friday night. Box number 3. No, it's wrong. We gotta stop it.
President Lincoln assassinated. Just stumble in here, Sam. He had one of our cards on him. That means he's a client. Was. Or wanted to be. I don't know who he is. Was. All he had on him was one of our cards. No, of course he was wearing clothes. Sam, will you stop arguing and get over here? I'll call them when you get here. Sam thinks I ought to call the police.
Sam's right.
I hate to lose the most interesting client we ever had.
I think you've already lost him.
He's trying to tell me something about Lincoln being assassinated.
Well, he's not exactly the first one to come up with the news.
Somebody shot him.
John Wilkes Booth, everybody knows that.
I mean him.
My, look at this. Artemis House. Oyster and steak dinner, 27 cents. 3 courses. Oh, don't tell me those weren't the good old days.
Let me look at that. You hungry, too? It's the Washington Star, Saturday, April 15th, 1865. That can't be Sam yet.
That's your horse parked outside?
Horse?
A horse.
Maybe it belongs to one of my clients.
You gotta get him off the street. He's causing a traffic jam. Quite a menagerie you've got.
You're not afraid of a police officer, are you, Bruce?
This, client of yours? Where is he? Well, doesn't look like he'll have much use for his horse anymore, does he?
Wasn't it lucky you showed up, officer? I was just going to call the police.
His name was Paul Wycherley.
The antiquarian?
That's right. He was a bit of an eccentric. Didn't believe in automobiles, telephones. Always kept a horse. Sometimes even dressed in the period. In his own way, he was quite a scholar. How did you know he was an antiquarian?
Yeah, how did you know he was an antiquarian?
I read one of his books, Lincoln's Last Hours.
Yeah, that was a specialty, Lincoln. Are you sure he didn't say anything else to you before he died?
Told you exactly what he said. President Lincoln, Ford's Theater, Washington, Friday night, box 3. No, it's wrong. We've got to stop.
That doesn't help us very much, does it?
Does he have any family or any relatives, Lieutenant?
Why?
I feel kind of responsible for him. I was the last person to see him alive.
Well, there's a brother, Conrad Wycherley. But he's in the clear. He lives in Frisco. He had the police there check him out. Seems he's kind of eccentric, too. Hipped on Scotland. Always wears those,
Kilts?
Kilts.
Kilts.
Why didn't you tell him about that newspaper?
Well, he never asked me. Besides, I sent it to an expert taking Cascade.
What kind of test?
To make sure it is a Washington Star of 1865. See you back at the office, Sam.
Miss Honey West?
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Forgive this rather unconventional introduction. I'm Conrad Wycherley, Paul Wycherley's brother.
I thought you might be.
Just to remove any doubts you may have about my identification, my driving license.
What can I do for you, Mr. Wycherley?
Would you be good enough to run me to my hotel? We can talk on the way.
Be my guest.
Thank you.
Shall we take the high road or the low road? What hotel are you staying at, Mr. Wycherley?
The Bedford. My brother's house has been searched from top to bottom.
Was anything taken?
Well, that I can't say. However, from certain indications, I think that the searchers didn't find what they were looking for.
What do you suppose it was?
Well, my brother had a lot of valuable things. Rare books, documents, papers. Did he have anything with him when he came to your office? Did he give you anything? Any papers, perhaps?
Not a thing, Mr. Wycherley.
Thank you, Miss West. You're sure he didn't give you anything, Miss West?
Quite sure, Mr. Wycherley.
Thank you.
Why didn't you tell him about that newspaper? And don't say he didn't ask you, because I heard him.
I'll tell you back at the office. Welcome to Los Angeles.
Miss Honey West?
Yes.
I hope you'll forgive my rather unusual introduction. I'm Conrad Wycherley, Paul Wycherley's brother.
I thought you might be.
Well, to remove any doubt about my identity, allow me to show you my driver's license.
What can I do for you, Mr. Wycherley?
Well, perhaps you'll drive me to my hotel, and we will talk on the way.
Hop in.
Thank you. Did my brother have anything with him when he came to your office? Did he give you anything? Any papers, perhaps?
Not a thing, Mr. Wycherley.
Well, one of them was a phony, that's for sure.
I don't know. Maybe they both were. There's someone to see you.
Don't tell me.
He's waiting inside.
Miss Honey West?
I know. You're Conrad Wycherley, Paul Wycherley's brother.
Why, yes, I am. Now, how did you happen to know that?
Oh, just a wild guess. Now, what can we do for you?
Well, I have reason to believe that when my unfortunate brother came here the night of his death, he may have been carrying something.
Not a thing.
A newspaper? A Washington Star of 1865?
Absolutely not.
That's very strange, sir. Such a newspaper is missing from my brother's effects.
Did that newspaper belong to you, Mr. Wycherley?
In a manner of speaking, I was going to buy it as part of a Lincoln collection. I'd sent it to my brother for his expert opinion.
Sorry, we haven't got it.
Do you have any identification?
I don't know if this is any real proof of my identity. It's a cashier's check from my bank.
Check for $500,000. That's a lot of identification.
It was to purchase that collection I told you about. Now, I haven't endorsed it, as you can see, and of course it's worthless without my signature.
Well, we'll take your word for that.
Do you happen to have a driver's license?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't drive an automobile, Miss West.
I'm sorry we can't help you about that newspaper.
That's quite all right, sir. Now, I just thought maybe my brother might have left it with you. I just can't think what could have happened to it. Good day, Miss West. Good day, sir.
Good
day. Well, that one certainly was a phony.
What makes you so sure, Sam?
Who ever met a Scotsman with a southern accent?
Haven't you ever heard of a Southern Highlander?
Ooh.
Didn't you get a photostat copy of a Washington Star for April 15th, 1865?
From the historical library, maybe, yeah.
Try it, will you, Sam? I'll meet you back here.
And where are you going?
To get the results on those newspaper tests I was talking about. I'll keep in touch with sweet little old you.
The isotope of carbon-14 is very unstable.
Oh.
Much more so than the other isotope, carbon-12.
Really?
Oh, yes. So that over a period of years, the atomic structure of carbon-14, you see, it gradually changes until the matter concerned contains a higher proportion of the stable isotope 12. And then from this, we can determine the age of the matter. You following, Miss West?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what I mean is that this newspaper is completely genuine. The ink and the paper, they're at least 100 years old.
Well, couldn't it have been faked?
Oh, gosh, no. Well, and unless somebody has discovered a way of radioactively aging matter, and nobody has.
Mr. Pringle, how much would this newspaper be worth?
Oh, well, gosh, I don't know. That's, it is a collector's item, and it's in perfect condition. I would say that with the right buyer, you could probably get $50,000.
Really?
Oh, sure. Maybe more. I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pringle.
Oh, you're welcome.
Boy, was he wrong.
Who?
Whoever said as worthless as yesterday's newspaper.
Oh, yeah, him.
Groceries I've got in this bag, Miss West. Keep walking, please. To that grey car over there.
you? Oh, hello. I didn't recognize you at first without your kilt.
Shut up.
Shut up and keep walking.
You planning to buy this house?
Okay, that's enough. I told you to shut up.
Well, there is a for sale sign.
What's for sale? Maple Heights. Over there.
Stand with your back to the post.
What did you do with that newspaper? You know, Miss West, you're a very pretty young girl. Now, I know you've never seen one of these before, because it's the only one in the world. In fact, I invented it.
Congratulations.
Ponce de Leon spent years searching for the fountain of youth. This machine has exactly the opposite effect. It produces instant old age.
It changes the isotope of carbon-14.
How did you know that?
Everybody's talking about isotopes these days. They're really in.
This machine will take 2 minutes to warm up.
It's all right, I can wait.
When this indicator reaches 100, then I shall remove the hood. A few seconds exposure to the lamp, and you'll be astounded at the change in you.
I'd rather do it myself.
My partner here can vouch that I'm telling the truth. He had a slight accident with the machine some time ago. Roger, show the lady your hand.
How would you like to have your whole face look like that, Miss West?
Watch the indicator. You have 90 seconds.
What did you do with the newspaper? Why does it take it so long?
Patience, Roger. Another 4 to 5 seconds should do it.
Is your name Roger?
What about it?
Well, you told me it was Conrad Wycherley.
Shut up.
You didn't know that, did you?
I told you to shut up.
You're the most monotonous man. All you ever say is shut up.
What do you mean? He told you his name was Conrad Wycherley.
Well, you're not the only one who dressed up in a kilt. Your friend Roger did, too.
You did? Why?
Don't listen to her.
I wondered why, too. Perhaps he wanted the newspaper all to himself.
You were going to blackmail me.
Don't be ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. He could blackmail you if he had the newspaper. He could wreck the whole deal with Conrad Wycherley, and he could hold you up for more than his share of the $500,000.
She's lying. She is lying. I never dressed up in any kilt.
For heaven's sake, just look at his socks. I saw him when I got in the car. He's still wearing his long Scottish socks.
Let's put the lamp on her now.
No! First of all, show me those socks.
No. Look. All right. I pretend that I'm Conrad Wycherley, but I didn't try to cheat you. It was just a protection.
Protection against what?
You, in case you tried to cheat me out of my share.
Who says there's no honor among thieves?
You fool. You stupid fool! You risked the whole plan.
Drop him. You didn't want to become old before your time.
They're all for sale.
Have you got your gun? The two men who killed White Shirley. It's too late, Sam. They're gone.
Yeah, let's go.
The lamp, too.
What lamp?
They have a machine. It ages ink, paper, anything.
And they used it on the Washington Star?
It's a forgery.
That's what Paul Whitechilly was trying to tell you before he died.
He found something in that paper that proved it was a forgery. He was trying to bring it to us for evidence.
Well, you've got the paper. We're in good shape.
Because they know that I know that they know that I know. And they're going to try to close that deal with Paul Whitechilly's brother right away.
I must say, these letters have passed every scientific test. They certainly appear genuine.
To think that they were left wrapped up in an old newspaper in an attic trunk for all these years. Must be the collector's find of the century.
The love letters of Abraham Lincoln to Anne Rutledge. And no one even knew of their existence.
Must be worth $500,000 easily.
Well, I certainly am anxious to buy them, but...
Well, then, what are we waiting for?
Well, you see, sir, that newspaper, that Washington Star that announced Lincoln's death, is wrapped around these letters. Well, I'd sent it to my unfortunate brother, see if he thought it was genuine, but before he could give me his historical opinion...
Have you got that newspaper?
No, sir, I haven't. It disappeared.
Maybe it was stolen.
It was certainly a valuable collector's item.
Well, then you think that's why my brother...
I think that your brother was killed by common burglars, Mr. Whitechilly.
So do the police.
I guess you're right, gentlemen.
Well, have you got the money?
I'll cash my check at the bank this afternoon.
$500,000.
Don't.
What?
It's a forgery, everything.
Even the driver's licenses.
That newspaper.
Oh, you got it?
No, but tomorrow's mail. I mailed it to myself.
Oh, I'm afraid.
What was the number of the box that President Lincoln was killed in?
Number 3.
Right.
Oh, that's right, honey. I read the same thing in the Washington Star. It was box number 3.
Well, of course it was number 3.
No, it wasn't. That's why Paul Whitechilly knew it was a forgery. Would you give me that photostat, please, Sam? This is a photostat copy of the real Washington Star. Dated April 15th, 1865. President Lincoln was sitting in box number 8. Officer, we were just going to call the police.
Lincoln was sitting in box number 8. Now, how did you know that?
I told you I read Paul Whitechilly's book, Lincoln's Last Hours.
My, listen to this. Washington Fish House, lobster dinner, French fries, and apple pie, 23 cents.
Well, at those prices, I'll take you both to dinner.
Oh, last of the big spenders. Come on, let's go.
All right. Now, what are you going to do with this horse?
Thank you.